Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And what you're seeing on screen is a coverage map of US Cellulars. So you guys that are new to the channel, who haven't really looked at it, you guys will get more of an understanding of where the footprint is that T-Mobile is going to get these 2,100 US Cellular keep sites, and where the carriers are going to get the exchange of spectrum, right? T-Mobile's going to get spectrum. Verizon's going to get spectrum inside of this footprint that you see here, and AT&T will get spectrum, right? So as you can see here, parts of California, Oregon, Washington. Then you look at Nebraska, Iowa, Oklahoma, some of Texas in the Panhandle. US Cellular operates there too. Wichita Falls, I was just there recently. Missouri, Tennessee, some parts of Illinois. Wisconsin is a big one for T-Mobile. North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, it looks like. Maine, so some of Vermont. So, and then possibly parts of Massachusetts. This is big, right? So also keep in mind, T-Mobile is not taking all of the US Cellular towers. They're only keeping 2,100. They told us that when they first announced the deal, right? Could that possibly have, is that possibly more now? Maybe, right? We don't know. Maybe T-Mobile grew some more customers within that footprint. We just don't know, right? But this will give you guys an idea of where this footprint and coverage and everything exists, right? So like Houston, Dallas, El Paso, San Antonio, Austin, nothing. There's no US Cellular operations there. They only have partner coverage. So there's going to be no license transfer of any spectrum in those markets, right? Any of the bigger markets, really. The Chicago operation was overtaken by Sprint years ago of US Cellulars. So that spectrum's already in T-Mobile's possession. Nebraska is going to be a really big one now, because now we're talking coverage, right? If you're talking about US Cellular, you're talking about a regional rural carrier. T-Mobile is going to keep 2,100 US Cellular sites. Out of the total amount of US Cellular sites, 80% of them are 150 feet or taller. So T-Mobile is taking a lot of coverage sites of US Cellulars for coverage expansion. Now, a big question is, how long is this going to take, right? If you're looking at the Sprint merger, I understand that was a much bigger scale, many more sites. But think about it. Look at how many billions T-Mobile has already spent, and we're getting into almost year 6, and they're still converting keep sites, right? So 2,100 should not take that long. I'm not saying it's going to take another 6 years for T-Mobile to convert 2,100 sites, but I'm thinking, right, they might get started on some of that this year. I just don't know what the focus is, right? If T-Mobile's thinking that's a 2026 project, do they get started on that this year? I just don't know. If it's a 2026 project where they get started with the 2,100 sites, it's probably going to take most of 2026 and all of 2027 to get done with that. The spectrum widening is going to happen instantly. That's done before the year is out. So any existing T-Mobile sites within this footprint you see on screen, they will have widened their spectrum with the additional spectrum they're getting from US Cellular. And same with AT&T and Verizon. Verizon's getting 850. AT&T is going to get some DoD. They're going to get some 700. I've already got some messages of people saying that their band 12 has already been widened within like Indiana, Illinois, parts of those states. So that's already happening. And that's a software thing, so that's not going to take long for any carrier, right? That's probably within the next week. It's going to be all over Reddit that, hey, my spectrum's gotten higher. So that's going to be done before the year is out. So that's not the problem. The biggest part of the integration for T-Mobile is going to be the keep sites. That's going to take the longest. And I'm thinking, right, they're going to make good progress within a 6-month period, but it just depends on if they're going to start that this year still, or if they're not going to get started till early 2026. So that's something that T-Mobile will have to disclose, right? I don't know if they disclose that at the earnings call. Are people going to ask the right questions? I just don't know, right? Or if they have a separate get together and live stream, maybe they explain it there. Maybe they explain it to investors. I just don't know, right? But this will give you guys a clear indication of where T-Mobile is going to get the spectrum, and of course AT&T Verizon as well, and where they're going to operate and convert those 2,100 sites. So this is good, right? This is good for T-Mobile to expand coverage. Right now, a lot of people, there's going to be some people that are going to be upset about this deal. They might be roaming on partner coverage for US Cellular. If T-Mobile ends that, right, they might not have coverage no more now. Now they might have to pursue another carrier, right? So all of that has to get taken into consideration. T-Mobile said per FCC filings that was going to be minimal impact where US Cellular customers would lose coverage. But it's still going to affect some people, right? And that's just, it was the same scenario for Sprint customers. They lost coverage. I mean, it's just, it got approved. Business is business, as they say, right? So let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you now have more of a clearer picture of where this is all taking place. Like I said, this is not a nationwide thing. This is more regional based, but it's going to give T-Mobile that much better rural coverage. And then moving forward, just to close out the video, I just think from a consolidation perspective, there's really not much left for T-Mobile to buy, right? I think the rest, they really just have to build it out on their own, right? If they want to go natively bigger and they really just want Starlink to cover those non-terrestrial areas, they're going to have to build out the rest on their own. I just don't see T-Mobile buying like a C Spire or a Viero or some of those other players. I just don't see it, because, I mean, how much more are they going to get across the finish line? They've gotten a lot. They've gotten a lot over the years, right? So how much more are they going to get handed on a silver platter, right? So let me know your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe. See y'all in the next one. Peace.